Hi friends, it's Deanna here, and today we're going to be working on the Be Independent dress. There is an option to just do the skirt or do the dress and the skirt, but I'm doing the dress or the skirt, but I'm doing the dress today. And it's basically the same concept, except for at the end you would attach the waistband to the skirt instead of attaching it to, instead of the dress, because the dress I attach the waistband. I don't attach a waistband to the dress, but I am going to attach a waistband to the shorties, so you'll be able to see how I attach the waistband. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. But before I do, let me remind you of our fun fan giveaway, a $50 Ellie and Maggie certificate for one of our lucky subscribers. And all you have to do is be subscribed. So if you are not subscribed, pause the video right now and subscribe. And after you subscribe, comment below and let us know what you like about our videos. Let us know which one's your favorite pattern. Let us know what fabric you love to work with. Just talk to us. You will be entered for the giveaway. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I already printed out my pattern and all my pieces are cut out. And like I said, I'm doing the dress version. So I have my pocket. This is my pocket piece. And I'm going to put it face up. I'm going to grab my pocket side band, my binding that goes on the side of my pocket. I'm going to put it wrong sides together. Fold the wrong sides together. And seam. I'm going to find, so now it's like one folded edge. I'm going to find the center, the middle of it. So I'm folding it right sides together and I'm finding the middle. And I'm going to do the same for my pocket. I'm going to fold it right sides together. And I'm going to find that middle piece right there for my band. And now I'm going to match up that little piece that I marked with my band where I have my middle piece. I was trying to look at it and see like if there's a right side to my pattern, because there is a pattern, it's a directional pattern. So I wanted to make sure that I'm doing the right side. So I'm going to match up those raw edges. I'm going all the way up the pocket, matching up the raw edges, and then I'm going all the way down the pocket, matching up those raw edges if you have to stretch a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to grab that and sew it right there, the raw edge. If you have to stretch a little bit, just stretch a little bit lightly. I am using my serger today. But you can use a sewing machine. All you have to remember is that if you're using a sewing machine, you need to use a stretch stitch. And you can figure out what stretch stitch to use by grabbing your scrap material that you're using and trying different stretch stitches on your machine, your zigzag stitch or lightning bolt stitch, whatever stitches you have that are stretch stitch, and try them on the sewing machine and figure out which one is going to give you the best stretch. That's what I would do. Alright, so now that that's in, I'm going to fold it out and steam it. I always want to make sure that my seam is going the same way all around. That way it lays flat. Now if you want to, you can go ahead and top stitch that pocket hand arm thing side area. I'm doing my cover stitch, but if you don't have a cover stitch, you can do a zigzag stitch over that or double needle. I love doing my cover stitch. I will say it was money well spent. I saved it. I had been saving for a while, and I am so glad I finally got it once I got it, because it is life-changing when it comes to hemming and top stitching and all that good stuff. Alright, so now that my pocket is pretty much prepped, we're going to go ahead and grab our pocket, and the top of it, we're going to fold down 1/2 inch for the top. we fold it down 1/2 inch of the top of our pocket. I put it right here. I'm gonna grab my front piece. This is gonna be my front. And we're gonna put it right side up. So here's my front piece, and I'm putting it right side up on my mat. Here's the bottom of my piece. And I can grab my pattern piece right here and put it on top, and it's gonna show me the line of where the pocket's gonna go. See? So really it's just matching up the raw edge of the pocket. So you don't really, I mean, if you want to look at the pattern piece and make sure that you have it correctly, but I'm just matching up. It's coming into right here. And what we're going to do is up here at the top, we're going to top stitch that pocket on. Okay. And on the sides and the bottom, we're going to baste the sides and the bottom. And a basting stitch is just a long straight stitch on your sewing machine, and it helps so that the fabric doesn't move as you're trying to sew it on. So I put my pocket on. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. And the top gets top stitched, so zigzag stitch or any stretch stitch or double needle or your cover stitch, and then the sides and the bottom just get basted on, which is a long straight stitch on your sewing machine, which means that once you sew it on, you can pull that stitch out. It's just there to keep it from moving. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so my pocket is on. As you can see, I used black stitching. See how it just went all the way around it. And at the top, I just top stitched. So you don't top stitch these sides, obviously, because that's where your hands are gonna go in. Well, your little hands, because this is little, so it's not gonna fit me. So I'm gonna put it face up on my board again. And now we're gonna grab our back bodice, and we're gonna put it right on top of it. And we're gonna match up those shoulder seams. And we're gonna sew those shoulder seams on. I am using, I know you sometimes like to ask, I'm using cotton lycra, which is my favorite type of fabric to use for kids' garments. So I love it. And I love that cotton lycra. You can find pretty good designs of cotton lycra in different shops, so that I like that. So anyway, we sew the shoulders together. Go ahead and steam that. I always have been told that steaming is the best way to go, so I'm steaming. Steam, steam, steam. So now we're gonna go ahead and attach our sleeves. So here's our shoulder seam, here's our arm side. We're just opening the front and the back. It goes whoop. So we're gonna grab our sleeves. We're gonna grab one sleeve. I'm gonna clip. I only clip a little bit because I like to see where my center is. You can just pin if you don't want to clip. And I'm gonna match up that top, that center to the shoulder seam right here. And I'm gonna meet that raw edge together and go all the way down this side, all the way down. And then the other way as well. And then I will do the same to the other sleeve. And I like to do the sleeves at the same time, because then I get this done and over with. Are you proud of me that I actually remember to cut my pattern right? Like I actually was, when I was cutting it, my fabric, I'm like, okay, this is a directional fabric, I better pay attention. Because sometimes I don't pay attention and then I end up putting it upside down or whatever. I am the worst when it comes to stuff like that. And even like stripe matching or anything like that, I'm just like, eh. I said before, my mother-in-law is very particular, so she'll, even if it's like a floral pattern, she will look at it to make sure that there's not a pattern on it. If there is a pattern on it, then she will make sure that it goes the right way. I'm saying it's floral. I'm thinking it's just random. I'm gonna sew it however, but she makes sure, okay, there's a pattern, so this is the pattern. I'm like, oh my word, I can't do that. All right, I'm gonna sew those raw edges. She's got like very attention to detail, which is good. I do not. I guess I do if I'm sewing for somebody else, but I usually just sew for myself, for my friends and family, and they're used to it. Here we go. We're sewing that raw edge of the sleeve, right sides together. Make sure that nothing else is poking underneath it, and that your fabrics are, both fabrics are matching. So you're catching the sleeve and the arm side. And we're going all the way around. And usually I make sure that I cut everything in because I don't want to miss a spot. And you know what? My left needle came unthreaded. I don't know why. So I'm going to go ahead and thread it. This is a very old serger. And so I'm almost afraid that it's going to die on me soon. But you know, I bought a new serger, and the bad thing was that I was sewing something that was very kind of hard to sew, some jeans, and I guess they were thicker than they should have been, and I bent it all to pieces. But it was a cheap cheap serger, so it's like it's almost not worth going to get it fixed because it was like it's gonna cost me almost the same amount because I bought it on Amazon and it was on sale, so it's gonna cost me like almost the same amount to buy a new one than it is to fix this old one, this other one. But I was so disappointed because it was like brand new, and for it to break over some like thick jeans, I'm like, it's not very sturdy. So I wanted to research a good serger, but they're so expensive. Oh my word. All right, I'm sewing this other sleeve. Tell me what kind of serger you like. What kind of serger do you have? And is it a good working serger? I sew every day, and I sew multiple times a day. Whenever I can, I sew. And I don't usually use heavy fabrics, but every once in a while I try, and the more I sew, the more fabrics that I like to try. So give me some recommendations of good sergers, but that also don't break the bank, because yes, it's expensive. It's an expensive hobby for me. All right, here we go. I'm steaming the seams of my sleeves. And one thing I've noticed that when I steam them all, I have to steam them the right way. Like if I don't want part of it going up and part of it going down, because then it looks wavy. So if I steam them all going the same way, that usually gives it a better look. So now we're gonna meet those side seams, and we're gonna sew those side seams. And remember, first we'll start right here at the armpit so that those side seams match, and we'll go down the sleeve. Then we'll go down the side, and we'll make sure that that pocket is caught in there too. Going on the other way. Meet that piece right there at the armpit, and then go down one way, and then go down the dress. I'm gonna go ahead and sew all the way down that side and then all the way down this side. Just sew those sides together. Make sure that you catch that pocket in when you're sewing the sides together. Sides are sewn. I'm going to turn it right side out. If you wanted to go ahead and, before turning it right side out, actually, if you want to go ahead and steam those side seams so that they're not wavy, you can go ahead and do that. Like I said, I try to keep them all going the same way. And that helps usually with the wave issue. So if they're, see, they're going all one way. That way they're not like up and down, up and down. That usually helps it look better. All right. So now it's almost done. Look how cute this is. I love it. Okay, so now we're gonna do our neckband. And that's basically it. Neckband, hem, well, and then our shorties. Okay, so I've got my neckband here. And the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fold it wrong sides together to give it a memory crease down the middle. So I just fold it wrong sides together. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna grab the two short ends, right sides together, and I'm gonna sew that top edge right there together to make it one continuous band. And now I'm gonna open it up, fold it wrong sides together again where I already made that memory seam, so that's a lot easier. Steam. I'm gonna pin the back seam. I'm gonna go to the front so we can mark, we're gonna quarter this. Go to the front, mark where the front is, and I'm gonna pin it. The reason why I like to notch is because that way if my pin moves or anything out of the way as I'm sewing it on, I still know where that quarter is and I'm not like, ah, you know. So meet the front and the back, and we're gonna go to each side. One side, the other side, and those are my quarters. I have all these pins and I was running out of the yellow ones, so now I'm using these white ones, but I don't like them because they are so like little. The heads are so tiny, and then sometimes it's hard to pull out, like as I'm trying to serge, it's hard to pull it out. Okay, the neck. We're gonna quarter the neck as well. So we're gonna meet the shoulder seams of the neck, and we're gonna go towards the back. And that's my back seam, my back thing. I'm gonna meet the shoulder seams again. I'm gonna go to the front, and that's my front. Then I'm gonna meet the front and the back together because those seams are not my quarters. They are like in this little tiny one. It's like a half an inch away from the seams. But as you get the bigger sizes, it's bigger. There's a farther distance from the shoulder to the actual front. Because see how the neck is usually lower than the back. So you want to quarter it, because if you attach it the same, it's going to be too tight on the front and too loose on the back. So you have a wavy band. So you want to make sure you quarter your bands, and that gives you a better looking band. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my band, and I'm going to match that first seam, that back seam, to the back. And then I'm going to match all those quarter points to all the quarter points I marked on my dress. And that is why I like to notch, because then that way, if anything moves around, or if one of my pins or clips falls off, then I know, well, that right there is where I was supposed to go. If that makes any sense. Makes sense, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. And then we are going to sew that neckband on. As you sew, you gotta pull just a little bit on your band. See, my pin just fell off. That's okay, because I have my little clip-ins here, so I know where that is supposed to fall at. I almost always just remove my pin and just mark, figure it out on my own. I put them right on top of each other, the two little clips I made, and then I pull my band just enough to make it fit. And then I go to the neck section and pull enough that it fits, and then I Make sure that they're even. And then the last section. Alright, my neckband is done. And now we're going to go ahead and steam. I always make sure I pulled my seam all the way down facing the bodice. And steam really well. Especially if you ended up with a little bit of a wavy neckband, steaming helps out so much. My neckband is on. Now if you want to, you can go ahead and top stitch. I don't usually like to top stitch my neckbands, not because of anything, just because I am scared to top stitch my neckbands. I always feel like it's gonna move and it's gonna be uneven and I'm not gonna like it and I'm gonna be mad that I ruined my beautiful neckband, so I never do. You can go ahead and hem those sleeves and the bottom and your dress is done, and it's 1/2 inch hem allowance. So I don't really measure my hem anymore. I kind of pretty much know what 1/2 inch is. So I just kind of eyeball it and steam it and then put it under my hemming tool, my cover stitch. And then you're gonna hem your bodice. You're gonna hem your pocket and your outer together. I mean liner, because that's, I guess, is the inner bodice, liner, pocket. Pocket would be considered outer, right? Yeah. So then you can go ahead and hem that 1/2 inch allowance. And once you hem it, you can go ahead and pull out, if you want to, that basting stitch at the bottom. But anyway, you'll go ahead and keep doing that and hem 1/2 inch allowance. But I am gonna put it aside for a minute and we're gonna work on the shorties, because you wanna see the shorties. Okay, so here are my shorties. And I didn't cut them apart. We're gonna go ahead and sew those together. So we're gonna grab our front and back and we're gonna face them, well, they're 2 legs, and we're gonna face them right sides together. And after we face them right sides together, we're going to sew that seam, the crotch and the back seam together. These are gonna be little shorties. This is the smallest side. So I'm gonna sew those raw edges together. So now after they're sewn, I'm gonna open it up like so, and you can go ahead and hem the legs. If you want to go ahead and hem those legs. But I'm just giving them a memory seam because I'm not going to hem them yet. I'm going to sew them together first, and then I'm going to hem them. Okay. And then I'm going to put them right sides together, meet them at the crotch area, at the seam, and I'm going to sew that area right there closed. This one is really small because it's a tiny size. So now I'm going to finish hemming right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them right side out. In a minute, let me fold this down where I'm going to hem. I already have that memory fold, so it won't be too bad. Okay, I'm going to turn them right side out. Look how tiny they are. And I can go ahead and attach, I'm going to show you how to attach that waistband. On these shorties, you really could just fold down and do you could just fold down on the shorts and do the little elastic. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my waistband, because I'm going to put a yoga waistband on it. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my neckband. I'm going to fold them wrong sides together and give it a memory steam first. Then I'm going to fold them at the short edge, right sides together, and sew that short edge together. Isn't that cool how quick these shorts come together? Then I'm going to fold them wrong sides together, and I'm going to quarter it just like I quartered my band. Pin that first seam, go to the front, mark the front, match up the front and the back, go to the sides, mark those sides, and then actually for the shorties, you already have the front and the back because you got those seams. So you match the front and the back seams and go to the sides. Those are your side seams. So you don't really have to notch very much. I am going to clip some of these threads off. Okay? And now I'm going to fit my band in to the shorts. Right sides together, meeting at the raw edges. And then I'm going to match those quarter points I had made. And the front is obviously the front seam and the back is obviously the back seam. And now I'm going to sew, stretching this band lightly. Stretch just like we did the neckband. And again, stretch. Then a couple more. And then the last one. And now I'm going to fold up. Make sure my seams are all going the right way. Steam. And my shorties are basically done. All I need to do is hem. Look how cute they are. They're so little. And here's my dress, and all I have to do is hem that. And it's done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you're not part of our Facebook or Instagram page, please come join us so you can see what everyone's making and you can show us what you're making. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember to enter for our Fun Fan giveaway. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!